In this lesson, we will learn about ghosting and the various interpolation types. Let's take a look at our falling animation. Alright, so far we've seen the animation in the time slider, the dope sheet, and the graph editor. But none of them give us an easy to see, clear view of our animation. We have to play it, tweak it, and play it again to see if the tweak fixed the problem, and then go back to tweaking. It's not a very fast way to animate. Well, there is one last way to see our animation, and that's with ghosting. When we turn on ghosting, we see that we have a lot more dolls in our scene. Well, these aren't real dolls, but rather glimpses of where the object is in time. Now if we move a keyframe, we get instantaneous visual feedback. Ghosting is very useful for viewing the animation around the current time to see how your changes will affect the animation. Let's now use ghosting to look at the various interpolation types. Here we see our original animation on the left, and the animation with interpolation type set to smooth on the right. You can see that the motion is much more fluid, but it's still too smooth when the object hits the ground. There are no sharp or sudden movements, and this is because smooth tangents conform to the position of adjacent keyframes, which is useful for extremely fluid motions. The next interpolation type we will look at is flat, which just flattens the tangents. If we play back the animation, we can see that our object sort of hangs wherever we have keyframes. This is because flat tangents make the object slow down as it enters and leaves the keyframe. This results in a short pause while it goes through that keyframe. Flat tangents are good for more controlled, smooth animation. Linear interpolation is a very simple interpolation type. It just sets the tangents to create a straight line between keyframes. This type is good for mechanical movements because the animation is steady. It doesn't speed up or slow down. The last common tangent type is stepped. Changing the tangents to stepped really changes the look of our F-curve in the graph editor. When we play back the animation, we can see our object isn't smoothly animated, but instead stays in one place until the next keyframe. This type is good to have as the default type for your keyframes when you begin a very complex animation. This way you can focus on the timing of your animation without the distraction of the interpolation. You will probably need a mix of interpolation types throughout your animation.